Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Sunday. It's the first Sunday of the month, and it's exactly 1 week until Mother's Day. So, if your mother is still alive, please, I encourage you to spend all the time you can with her this upcoming week because not everybody is fortunate enough to still have their mother in their lives. But today, we're going to be discussing college football. I have already did an ACC predicted order of finish and an SEC predicted order of finish for the upcoming 2022 college football season. So I figured it was time to go ahead and do another Power 5 conference. And I will definitely do the Big 12 and the Pac 12 before the season gets here. And I may even do some, if not all, of the group of fives, but I'm going to at least do all the Power 5 conferences. And I figured since we've already did the ACC and the SEC, today it's time for the Big 10. And this is the predicted order of finish from SI.com. And this article is from April the 13th, so it's only about 3 weeks old. So this is pretty recent, about as recent as you can get. Any thoughts on this, as always, please feel free to let me know. And believe it or not, shockingly, Rutgers is not picked to finish dead last this year in the Big Ten. Of course, no surprise, Ohio State is predicted to win the Big Ten. And SI.com did not give their predictions on each team's record, just the predicted order of finish for each team. Michigan is number 2, Michigan State number 3, Wisconsin number 4, Iowa number 5. I don't really have any issues with that top 5. I know I said the other day that I don't think Michigan is going to be as good this year as they were last year, and I still don't. But at the same time, if I look over their talent, and usually talent wins in most situations, it's hard for me to see them finishing lower than second because I still think they're better than Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. So I still think Michigan is going to be really good, but I don't think their talent, top to bottom, is as good as last year. But I still think they're better than Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. The only thing that might hold Michigan back, and then again, we may forget about this come October if they get off to a really good start, which looking over their schedule, they should. But we've got to remember that Jim Harbaugh tried to leave after last season. The only reason Jim Harbaugh didn't leave is because Jim Harbaugh couldn't find a job. Every NFL team he tried to go to did not hire him. So it's not like he changed his mind on his own accord. He changed his mind because nobody else wanted him. So you may see a situation where the Michigan players say, you know what, our coach didn't want to be here for us, so we don't want to be here for him. And if that happens, then Michigan will not be any good. But like I said, if they come out and they put that behind them and get off to a really good start by October, everybody's going to completely, totally forget about the fact that Jim Harbaugh tried to leave after last season. Number 6 is Penn State, 7 Minnesota, 8 Purdue, 9 Nebraska, and 10 Maryland. Now, Nebraska picked to finish ninth. If they do finish ninth, will this finally be the season that Scott Frost gets the boot, or will he get another season because he played football there and because he's got another new offensive coordinator? I think that's his way to keep his job, is to just keep recycling coaches so that every year he can say, hey, I had a new system. Hey, I had a new system. And he's not lying, but he's doing it to buy himself another year. But surely to God, he's been there this long. They won't finish ninth again in the Big Ten. 11 through 14 is Illinois, Rutgers, Indiana, and Northwestern. So Rutgers is not picked to finish last, but they're picked to finish 12th out of 14 teams. And it's hard to believe that Indiana was so good just 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're picked to finish next to last in the Big Ten, with Northwestern bringing up the rear. Again, any thoughts on this, please feel free to let me know. The only changes that I could see that might be wrong is I could see Iowa finishing 4th and Penn State finishing 5th and Wisconsin finishing 6th. But we know by now that Wisconsin has the talent every year. But because of that system they run, with the scheme they run, they're just going to be a ground and pound team. That's what they are. That's why Barry Alvarez is their AD. That's what he wants to be. He will not have a coach that wants to change their offensive identity whatsoever. So because of that, if they have any game where they struggle to run the ball, they're in trouble. And most teams have at least 1 or 2 games a year where you just struggle to run the ball, whether it's running backs get injured, your offensive line's having trouble blocking, you're getting a lot of holding calls, putting you in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, whatever the case is. Every team normally has 1 or 2 games a year where your running game just struggles. And because Wisconsin is a line them up and run the ball every single down type team, when they have trouble running, they're in trouble. They have nothing else they can do. If they've got to throw the ball more than 20 times a game, they're beat. So Wisconsin does have the talent to finish 4th in the Big Ten, but there's going to be 1 or 2 games where they have 90 yards rushing and they have 160 yards of offense. And in those games, unless they win 7-6, they could get beat. So I could easily see them having a game like that against an Iowa or a Penn State, where Iowa and Penn State finish above them and they finish 6th. But outside of that, I really don't see a whole lot in this 1 through 14 Big Ten power ranking that I would change. Like I said, unless the Michigan players are upset on the thought of Jim Harbaugh trying to leave and they just come out and flat out don't care. But looking over their schedule, I think they're going to win their first couple of games easily. And if that happens, they'll totally forget about what happened after the 2021 football season. Again, any thoughts on this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. My horse has insomnia and keeps everyone awake. She's a nightmare. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.